Prior to real estate, I was a college baseball player. I played baseball at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. From there, upon graduating, I received an exercise and sports science degree, which I used in my next career. I trained athletes, and while I was training athletes, I was working at a gym and noticed that there was a lot of obese children in that gym, and so quickly developed a childhood obesity prevention program. It was the only one of its kind in the state. We started with 13 kids and serviced over 3,500 kids in the community. And so I had a mentor who was an attending at Johns Hopkins who was also heavily invested in real estate. And from there is how I started my real estate career. He and I would go see property together. And from there I fell in love with the business. I started my career August 3rd of 2015, and I was a little apprehensive to get into real estate. I knew I was excited about the investment opportunities, but I wasn't sure how I would perform as an agent. I knew that I loved people, but didn't know how that would translate with someone who didn't really know the industry. So I studied a lot. I realized that I needed to get into video. I was promoting myself on video with my kids program, but I realized no other agents were promoting themselves on video. And this was 10 years ago. So at the time, people thought I was crazy. But I couldn't think of a faster way to get in front of people than through social media. So I started filming really funny videos, and from there, I realized that this was the key to success. Video was the only way that I could promote my message or get myself out there real quick with the click of a button in front of thousands of people. After about 5 or 6 years in real estate in North Carolina, I moved back home to the city of Chicago. Chicago is like a Shark Tank. You know, you're in a 5-mile radius with 45,000 other agents, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. And here, when I realized that I was in the right places when we were looking for houses to move to Michigan, we called on 8 different homes, and not one real estate agent asked me if I wanted to see another property. So all 8 of those homes were pending. Not one agent asked me if I wanted to see something else. And I looked over at my wife and I said, honey, we're gonna be just fine, because the fortune's in the follow-up, the business is in the follow-up, the relentless wanting to find the answer even if I don't know it for my clients, answering the calls and making a promise that I respond within 30 minutes to an hour on every single phone call has really built trust. When I tell them that I will call them back or I will do something for them, there's no doubt that that will happen. So one of my strengths, I think, is building relationships across the other side of the table. When I'm calling to get a status on a listing or negotiating an offer, I'm really trying to get to know the agent on the other side as well. And by ultimately building trust helps my client get their offer accepted. Being a part of Glover Agency helps me serve my clients on a completely different level. The services they provide, the admin staff, the support that I get to help my client is, like something I've ever seen before. Really setting the standard for the industry. And Jeff on a daily basis is talking about what's next. We're learning about things that are coming, not things that have passed. And for me, to serve my clients and to be able to be ahead of the industry, ahead of the curve, is what they're looking for when they choose their agent. So when I think of GA, I think of an organization who has gone through the ups and downs over the last 20 years in real estate, through all the pitfalls, and has still emerged as the #1 selling team in the state of Michigan. And so for me, that's huge. When I go into an interview or I'm sitting down for a listing appointment and I'm able to say that we're the #1 team in sales and volume, and look at them confidently, I think that is the biggest game changer. That is the differentiator between our company and somebody else. I love being a dad. I've got a 7-month-old daughter and a 2.5-year-old son, and that's probably the biggest reason why I also joined GA, is so that I could give them the life that they deserve, so that I can be present, be a present father, and when I'm home, to be dad and not John the real estate agent. I love going on walks with my kids and my wife. I take my son to the park literally every single day at 5 o'clock on the dot. We are walking to the park. So it'll be nice to be able to leverage anything that I'm doing in business, to be able to focus 100% on my family. They're the most important thing by far in my entire life. And I'm glad that I can be the dad that I've always wanted to be, by leveraging my time and being 100% present with them. Sports are a huge part of our lives. My wife's a sports agent. I also love to play golf. I love to cook. I think being on the golf course allows me to literally not worry about anything. I would say those are two of my passions, is golf and cooking. So I've been in rooms where people are truly inspired. I've felt the energy that comes from thinking about what an unreal life would be. And I want that life for me. I want that life for my wife. I want that life for my kids. I want that life for my family. And I ultimately want to be able to share that feeling with my clients and their families.